Folks, we'll call the Supplemental Benefits Fund Steering Committee regular semi-annual meeting to order for January 22nd, 2025 at the 2 p.m. agenda. Let's see, is roll call next? Roll call.
Yes. Committee Member Goodson?
Yes.
Committee Member Johnston? Here. Committee Member Fowler?
Present.
Chair Pittman?
Here, present.
Thank you.
All right. Item number one, which was the chairperson one, we're going to delay to next month until we have the new appointed members from the rec district forward. They haven't had a chance to have a meeting yet to appoint a representative for this body yet. So we appreciate everyone here today, and we have a quorum so that we can move business along, but we'll schedule it after the rec district has appointed their new members at the meeting later on this month. So item number one, we're going to delay. Item number, advisory members here. I forgot to ask for that. Don't we do a roll call of those?
We don't usually do roll call of advisory.
Do we?
Do we?
Yeah,
Do
we
we?
usually do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
the problem with a meeting twice a year.
Yeah.
Aaron, right, I saw him this morning. He is still gonna be here. He's just gonna be about 20 minutes late.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So we have our advisory members. Now it's Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll ask Mr. Fowler to lead us, if you will.
Salute. Pledge.
I
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all.
And then we have,
We have a time right now hearing of individuals for non-agenda items. Do we have any cards, Kayla?
we do not have any submitted, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And we'll move forward to the steering committee advisory members and staff comments. Mr. C., do you have any comments for us today that you might want to share with us?
I don't,
Okay.
about the status of the project, so, just, kind of something I do typically. So lake level today is 837.2 on here, and right, the inflow is 4,000,
Gotcha.
so the lake is slowly rising. About 4 feet.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It started off like gangbusters. Coming up and, as
All right. Okay, I see a representative from the chamber. Any comments from the Chamber of Commerce?
I had one comment, Jonathan Young, speak with him on the phone, right, from State Water Contractors, the meeting, he said he was going to be, I'm not sure how that
Yeah. Kayla?
transpires, but,
Right. Might check with Kayla. Do we have an online?
We do.
opened up? Okay.
Jonathan is online.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, we know you're available. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Great, thank you, Mayor.
Let's see. Next item would be the consent calendar. Any comments about the consent calendar? Questions of board members? Staff? I'll entertain a motion to approve consent.
Motion.
Call a roll, please. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to do roll call instead of electronic vote.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Committee Member Goodson?
Yes.
Committee Member Johnstone?
Yes.
Committee Member Fowler? Chairperson Pittman?
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. Regular business, oh, do we have a PowerPoint today?
Have a short one.
All right. Mr. Marciniak, please.
Okay,
Move ahead.
we'll get it up here in a second. Just trying to keep everybody, the momentum of our two projects that are still pending and one that was fully funded but has received additional federal money, and they are doing a whole bunch of construction. So we'll have a PowerPoint up. It's pretty short.
Welcome.
I do. It's in the packet, yeah. Hang on, technical. Okay, I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and update you on the projects. The first one, next slide, is the Oroville Lights Table Mountain project. Go ahead. There was a construction kickoff, and this big smiling guy, or the smiling guy, along with about 150 other people, including myself and Brian from the city, attended it. And so construction hopefully will be off and running, and lights will be going. Next slide, just groups of people. Last slide, let there be light. This is sort of the whole group of everybody gathering together. And there will be light there soon. The next slide is about the missing link at the Brad Freeman Trail. Proponent on that is Feather River Recreation Park District. The SBF has issued 4 grants over the past several years. $30,000 to Melton for designing it, $20,000 to the district for an environmental study, $260,760 for future construction, and $150,000 for future construction. So the total grants towards the project, $460,760. Next slide. This is what we call the missing link. It's when you go to the left of the Veterans Memorial. There is a somewhat trail, however, it's very rocky and unfinished, and waiting for people to slip off into the river. So I don't walk my dog on that portion of the trail, unfortunately, but looking forward to walking him. The unfinished trail area, you can see there is a sign, and then it will take us through and under the 2 bridges and end up near the center there. Next slide. Here's a little picture of the trail map. Hopefully we'll have people riding bicycles on there and pushing baby strollers and walking dogs. Maybe a horse or 2. Next slide. The third project, which the SBF fully funded last year, is the Oroville Veterans Memorial Park, fully funding by funds granted by the SBF, not the entire cost of building the memorial park. Next slide. SBF actually granted $37,000 towards the flagpole, $112,000 towards the wall construction, $92,098 towards the shade structure construction, and $35,073 towards what was called a trail rest stop. It provides a place for people to sit, to reflect, meditate, and enjoy the river, but look upon the people that gave some and all to protect our country. Next slide. The Shade Pavilion went under construction last year, was completed. Next slide. The wall was completed several years ago and dedicated. The bugle statue on the right-hand side will be installed as part of the new project that's going on down there at the moment. Next slide. They have a acknowledgement towards the SBF and others for their donations. Next slide. The final rendering of the completed project, it's going to look a little bit different. The large grassy area has been replaced by a multiple planters and places for people to sit and again, meditate, visit, relax. All of the walls that if you've driven by there, are finished now, and they are all going to be faced with the beautiful decorative rock that is on the pillars, so it'll really give it a nice, really nice look from Montgomery Street. These things occurred because of funding that came from the federal government. And then finally, DWR and state water contractors, we're just waiting for you guys to show us the real money, more money. The city council has written a letter as the SBF. The Feather River Conceptual Plan, a really good book that the SBF put together a few years ago. It allows the committee to have areas for reaches to provide that any future money that's coming in is expended as the concept of the SBF was intended. And that's the end of my short PowerPoint. Any questions about any of it?
No, thank you. Visual is always a good way to communicate.
Yeah, I think it's important to stay on track and, it's real. We're alive.
Yeah, thank you. All right, appreciate that. Next item is regular business. Item number 5, request from the Rotary Club of Orville to extend the maturity of the SBF grant to 34/16.
Okay, if you're following along in your packets, it's page 35. It's actually fairly simple. The Rotary Club feels that they will have drawn their $100,000 prior to this extension. However, because we're only meeting twice a year, and because of potential shortages in supplies, I felt it wise that we bring it forward and extend it to May 31st, 2025. It's $100,000. They have all the approvals they need, and as you saw on the PowerPoint slide, they have dedicated their construction and actually brought their contractors to that dedication for people to meet. Any questions on that? May 31st, 2025. Yeah, we're not extending it an entire year.
Oh, I see, okay, I read.
That's okay. I'm sorry, you're right. We're extending it to, yeah, July 31st.
There you go.
Yeah.
From May 30th.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, I will second.
Motion second, call roll, please.
Committee Member Goodson,
Yes.
Committee Member Johnstone, Committee Member Fowler,
Yes.
Chairperson Pittman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
I will add, just as a member of Rotary Club, if you ever wanted to get some project done, get Dean Gurr on it. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job. It's crazy. You can't imagine. He's got an MOU with the county. He's got an MOU with PG&E to put the power thing in. I mean,
Yeah.
I stopped him one day, though. I said, for PG&E to put a service box, you have to have an address. We had to get an address for the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
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 So I don't know what it is, but he looked at me and says, Pittman, are you serious? I said, well, yeah, they're not going to give you a service connection. They just don't put
That's
service
true.
connections anywhere.
Right,
So,
right.
Somebody's got to pay for it.
yeah, exactly. All right, thank you all. Item number 6, Feather River Recreation Park District Grant number 3270, extension for the Brad Freeman Trail.
Okay, again, page 38 in your packets. I'll paraphrase the summary. They continue to try to gather additional funds to add to what the SBF has committed. We currently have $387,299.59 committed towards this project. It completes the missing link, and it would have expired in February next month, the current extension. And so staff is requesting a one-year extension on that. And we do have Brian here from the district. If you want to speak to it at all, you're welcome to. Go to the podium.
Thank you, Brian. I'm very curious. What can you tell us?
Push the little button, please. Yeah.
He's already there.
All right. What I'll start with is, you're all aware that this is a project in long time coming. I've been involved with it only about 9 months now.
Yeah.
So we became aware of funding through the Land and Water Conservation Fund and did submit an application. It sounds like this will be a non-competitive grant funding, and we do have the support of DWR for this application. We're working with OGALS right now. Some of the areas that we are working through challenges, we need to get a little bit more information on some of the easements that we have for those properties, both private properties and county easements. This application has stipulations that do not allow for the project to fund the sections of the project that are on private property. We have very small sections that move through private property, feet, not yards.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for solutions to that challenge right now. We did have a meeting with Katie from OGALS last week. They put us on their agenda for their meeting this month, and we hope to hear back on direction to address those challenges. But that is why we're seeking the extension at this point. We do believe with the funding awarded, we will have a total that exceeds the estimate, including contingencies that was provided in 2022.
Wow. That's great news. Really is. It is.
How many property owners?
So we do have easements from the private property owners. Those easements are already in place.
All right.
So permission has been given. The grant funding does not allow
Allow
for
for
funding on the private
private.
property.
There you go. That's the glitch.
How
So
about acquisition? Is that an option?
So,
potentially, and that's in our last meeting, if I am remembering correctly, there was discussion about dividing properties so that the portion of the property that is granted the easement, yes, transferring that small section of property.
to the county.
Additional step, yes.
Okay.
Additional steps to be taken, and right now in my notes, those properties are held by trust. So, additional step yet again.
Yeah.
Nothing's easy.
No. I can't just go knock on someone's door and say, this is what we would like to do.
Yeah.
However, we do feel good about the application. We appreciate the support of DWR with this process. We do feel good about the easements in place. We're just working for that specific funding for the areas that move through the private property.
Right.
And hopefully
Councilman
I'll have
Johnson?
more information by the end of the week.
Johnstone has a question.
Okay, so, how many easements do you have permission for already?
As far as the privates, we have 2,
Okay, and how many privates are there?
3.
Okay,
But only, the project only moves through 2 private properties. It is adjacent to another private property, but the project will not move through that. So I believe that we have all of our easements in place.
and so you're just looking for funding for those private locations?
We're looking to see whether or not the administrator of those grant funds
Will allow?
will release
Okay.
the entire funding, or if they say, hey, it looks like 90% of your project moves through county property, 10 moves through private. We'll award based on 90%. We don't know yet,
And then what would you have to seek other funding for the 10%?
potentially.
And how much is
And
that?
I was just gonna say, how
We're,
much is?
we're looking at this point, we have parcel maps and we have initial surveys for parcel properties. We have not had a surveyor on site to actually stake out the proposed, because that was another approach that we had looked at. Well, if we take 10 steps to the left, have we moved off of that private property? If so, we get into the conversation of, well, now are we on state property with the high water, low water conversations?
Kidding.
And this is why government does not move as quick as we want it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is the update that I have for you today.
Thank you.
Ballpark, how much?
Yeah.
In the event, that figure, that 10% that you would need.
Well, if total project cost is 600,000 and we did 10% of
Okay.
that,
60,000, okay.
that is the
Minimal.
potential.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you. It's been very informative.
Yes.
Much appreciated. Any other questions from the body or entertain a motion?
Granted,
A second, sorry.
Granted, second. Call the roll, please.
Committee Member Goodson?
yes.
Committee Member Johnstone? Committee Member Fowler?
Yes.
Chair Pittman?
Yes.
Passes
Thank you.
unanimously.
Correspondence, item number 7.
Okay, included in the packet, starting on page 60, is a series of letters, one from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, one from National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, one from DWR, and one from the city of Oroville. Each one of the letters encourages FERC to move along with getting the Project 2100 approved, that, as we all know, has been
Just right on.
going, excuse me, sorry, my phone, I turned it off, but it's still ringing, which is now pushing 18 years instead of 17. So hopefully there'll be something happening. I believe Mayor Pittman did get a response back from DWR that they had received the city council letter and that it had been assigned to a person to pursue it and provide information back to the administration at DWR. It's more informational than anything, but the good news is that kind of maybe for the first time, we have 4 agencies sending letters almost simultaneously. So maybe that will be the push, and with the new administration, unless FERC gets eliminated, we'll move forward.
Well, I might add, we have a city minister that makes a weekly call.
You know, it's about monthly right now. I did.
To FERC?
It's an email, but I did like to have it in writing. I emailed them on the 16th, and usually they respond, but I have not received a response from this request.
I would just put it on auto and just
Yeah.
keep sending it weekly.
You know, I don't think there's ever been a better argument to bring efficiency to government than what our case going on here. And I'm not trying to highlight it, but 18 years, really? Seriously?
Seriously.
Yeah, that's just, anyway. Well, we appreciate all your efforts, and we thank all the agencies that are responding to us. And that's all we can do for right now. That's it. All right, any action or requested information more from the committee members?
Not at all.
Okay. Next item is call for agenda items. Does any of the body of the committee members have any agenda items to add for the future? Seeing none, we'll move forward to the next item, which would be adjournment.
I did have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, are we going to move the election of the chair and vice chair to the July meeting?
Sure.
Or are we going to have a special meeting?
I think we'll just move it to the,
It's,
I would say let's plan to do it the July meeting unless we have some other reason to do it.
okay, All right,
Okay.
and hopefully we'll have a good reason to
Right.
reconvene, to go back to quarterlies and
Yeah.
have some money moving and, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Jonathan, I should ask you, you have any questions or comments?
Nothing on my end.
Thank you, sir, for participating today. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, apologies, I'm not there in person.
Well, only if we need to, yeah. Do we want to schedule a meeting for the chairman appointment, or you said to move it to July? Yeah, we'll just move it to July. Okay.
Yeah, unless we.
I think
unless-
we're okay.
To your
Okay.
point, unless there's
All right.
a reason to meet sooner.
That way, we're all good. Thank you. I appreciate that clarification. So consequently, the meeting will be adjourned to the next regular meeting, July 23rd, 2025 at 2 PM. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Rec District, for your struggle with that part of the trail. It ain't easy, but it's going to be so nice when it's all done, so thank you. We are adjourned.